Hey there, welcome back to the channel. It's still Mermaid. I hope you all are doing well and having a great day. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a functioning carousel for your Minecraft world. This should work on Bedrock and Java, but if it doesn't, let me know and I'd be happy to make a tutorial for Bedrock as well. So jumping straight into the video, I have a list of materials for you all. Apologies for the quality, but if you have any questions regarding them, please feel free to ask in the comment section below. Also, quick note before we get into it, I am feeling a little under the weather, so if my voice sounds a little funny or the audio is a little weird, it's me, not you, I promise. So starting off, you're going to make a pillar straight up, and then from the top block of that pillar, you're going to build a circular platform out. From the circle, you're going to choose the midpoints horizontally and vertically. You're going to go up one block and in 2 blocks, so 2 blocks on each side. Next, you're going to take your railing and you're going to create a circle along the outer perimeter of our blocks. Using redstone, you're going to connect it to the 4 points we made earlier, bringing it into the center of the circle. To ensure that this works, you need to have a powered rail on each of the 4 outer blocks that will be connected to the redstone. For a different block choice, you're going to outline a circle of our innermost circle that we just made. With your block of choice, around the perimeter we just made, you're going to place 1 block every other block until you have a circle. Increase the height of it by 2 on the blocks behind it. In the holes between, you're going to pick another block of choice and fill in those gaps. Continuing this pattern, you're going to increase 1 over 1 or increase 1 over 2 based on how it kind of flows, and we're hoping to bring this to a point, so for reference, this is the top of the carousel that we're working on. And just as a forewarning, you are going to have to slightly adjust some of your colors as you move upwards, because the circle that we make will slowly start turning more into a square because of Minecraft mechanics. But don't worry, don't fear, it'll be okay. Just kind of try and flow with how the build seems to work. So if it seems a little too heavy on one color, maybe try a different color on that rep and maybe it'll work. Once you get your top carousel to be about a 9 block gap in the middle, you're going to continue the pillar that you started at the base of it, bring it straight up, and we're going to start working on our second layer of the top. Using wooden stairs, you're going to flip them upside down, and then around the perimeter of the 9 block gap, you're going to create a clover shape out of the stairs. Make sure that the pillar extends all the way through the part we just did, because we're going to continue to build on top of that. I just added some wooden fences on top of the upside down stairs to give it some more texture. Now you're just going to build another little platform with the same block colors you're using for the top of the tent, and you're going to continue that pattern upwards, and it's going to be much smaller, so just about 2 blocks out from the top of the pillar. Wooden pillar is still the top of the carousel, and to extend that point, you're going to add a stone pillar and then wooden fence on top of that with a little flag used from glass. Added texture, you're going to add some slabs and trapdoors to the underside of that little tent area we just made to create a transition between the 2 parts. Continue this type of transition onto the sides of the main tent area that we created in the beginning using upside down wooden staircases again. At this point, I decided there wasn't enough depth in the tent itself, so I transitioned from using white concrete to smooth quartz stairs, and then I added those in between little places that I thought could use a little bit more texture, and then you'll see I'll go in and change the white concrete to all smooth quartz stairs so it matches later. Great way to add some quick texture to your builds is to use these stairs and slabs in little like nooks and crannies that are a little flat or have a bit too jarring of a transition between block heights. When working with builds that are very circular and spherical, don't be afraid to have to go back in and kind of resculpt your original idea, because it's going to change and it's okay to make mistakes, because that outcome is usually typically better when we have time to refine and edit. Now we're going to take the 4 kind of points that we created earlier, and you're going to bring them down to the underbelly of the carousel. And we're going to start working on the bottom base compartment, or the main compartment of the carousel. Here I'm just outlining in stone what the base of the carousel will look like. It's still a circle. Everything pretty much in this build is a circle. Then I just bring that base up and I create a little wall out of it, and then I actually go around and I thicken it, because this is also going to double as a pathway for players to walk on. Again, I'm using that added texture by reincorporating the wood into the stone wall to give it some more depth. See me going in with the wooden shelves around that little area to create another transition piece, and then I'm going to go back with the wood slabs and go over it, so it creates like a little sandwich of texture. To kind of make the pillars feel a bit more real, you can add stone pillars and fences as transition pieces between the ground and vertical planes. On from here, we're going to start building an entranceway to the carousel. That way you can actually get up and walk to it. So here I'm just making a staircase, and then a great way to add more dimension is by creating a curvature that kind of follows the pre-existing curve of our carousel, which follows its circular pattern. To help tie your build together, it really helps when you reincorporate blocks from your pre-existing palette you defined earlier. So here I'm just using some of that stripped wood in the supporting areas of the staircase. See me kind of apply that here, so I reincorporate the shelves and the slabs and then trapdoors, and then I introduce the fences. That way it can look almost as if it's holding up the trapdoors. Just to kind of create some more texture and mimic the effect that real carousels have, I'm going to go in between the wood pillars that we already created, and I'm going to add stone pillar and then wooden fences to create mock pillars. I'm adding the trapdoors again on the underside of the stairs for the ceiling of the carousel. I'm filling in the floor of the carousel. Please make sure that you leave enough space for our animals or our horses to kind of move up and down when you're considering building this build. Adding a few more details to the inside of the carousel, like furnishing up the centerpiece of it where our pillar stands, and just making a few transition points to really finesse that. Light is always a good director of the eye, so I added a couple of lanterns for aesthetic purposes and also so you can just see it in the dark. Okay, getting into the real part of the carousel that'll make it actually spin and the horses go up and down. Ensure that you have enough space for your pigs. You'll see in the video I didn't leave enough space, so the pigs kept getting hurt. So you might have to push your tent out just a little bit farther than I did, but it's okay, you can always fix it. If not, it's not a big deal. So you're gonna start by actually adding a minecart to each of the 4 corners that we created, and then in that minecart try and get a pig into each one. It's gonna be a little difficult at first, but you can do it. Okay, now that you have all your pigs in your minecarts, you're gonna take a lead and you're gonna connect it to the pig, and then you're gonna spawn a horse in the under part of the carousel that we created. So where an actual horse would sit in carousel in real life, that's where you want your horses to be in the Minecraft one. You're gonna connect them through a lead, and this is how the horse is going to get the up and down motion. I know it sounds like I'm going through this really fast, but this took me quite a long time to do, so don't worry if it takes you a while. I think it ended up taking me like an hour or 2 just to get this part right, so don't worry if it's taking you some time. Once you have all of these parts set up, you're going to go back to the top of the tent in the carousel, and you're going to place a redstone torch in the center where we had originally left the redstone dust trail. This will power the carts of your pigs, and then in turn start spinning your horses all around. And if your horses aren't moving in the same distance where you want them to, which is pretty much an equal distance from each other, that means your pigs inside aren't the right distance from each other and are probably like circling up real close together and huddling. So all you have to do is delete the redstone torch, adjust the carts of the pigs, and then try again, and everything should be fixed. Now, congratulations, this is officially the carousel that you came here to build. It's perfectly acceptable to stop here. However, I do like to kind of decorate and make a transition for the environment that I built my builds in. So we're gonna start focusing on that now. The key way to create a decent dirt path, or to transition from a path you started with like brick or something, is to slowly integrate dirt and that block that you're creating the path from into each other. So that means like using all the different types of dirt. I even use like andesite, and you're gonna just break a few blocks, replace it, kind of create like a variety of sorts. And then I also like to use stairs, and the moss blocks really help add texture along with any bushes, and just even the dry grass and regular grass. Anything that can give you a different shape will add depth to your build or your path. Additionally, buttons and plates are really good at this. So if you're working with stone, you can use the stone buttons, you can use the stone plates, like the pressure plates, and you can integrate that into your palette, and that really makes it look like there's small little rocks, or there's flat bits, or anything of the sorts that have kind of been weathered over time. also really like using like the flower petal features. Since I did use a like pink in my color palette, I thought I could incorporate some of the pinker flowers, and because you can use the little feature where like you can add like 1/4 of a block of flower petals, that can create a nice transition as well to add to your build. I used these couple of techniques I talked about until I reached kind of the end of where I wanted my dirt path to start, and then I created like a little sitting area slash light path to help guide the audience. The final touches are just adding some plants, so some extra trees, some sugarcane, bamboo, to give it that final pull together that it needs. Here is the final product. I had a lot of fun with this build, and I thank you for joining with me. As always, be good people, do good things, love you.